Hey y'all, this is iDiscuss podcast with me, your host Fatima.
Hello everyone, this is the very first episode of iDiscuss with Fatima. I hope that you like our podcast, as this podcast is about everything. You can actually find yourself here. In this episode, we are going to talk about overall motivation and one of my favorite people ever, Bob Proctor, who is a motivator and who helped me change my life. After the first episode, like the first half of the episode 1A, you can listen to our episode 1B, where I discuss all these topics with a friend of mine, Huseyn, who has his own kind of business and his Instagram page, where he shares not only memes and funny stuff, but also everything related to law. So let's get started. Motivation in life is significant because without motivation, not a single living being, at least a living being who has cognitive skills, can live. So everyone, no one can deny that motivation is not the key factor for them. But how do we keep motivated? There are actually many ways, like some people are motivated by their peers. Let's say they want to be the best. They try to compete with them. However, the others, they are motivated by some factors, material factors such as money. But is it possible overall to stay motivated? By all means. For sure not. We're not robots, so we cannot be in a good mood, in a positive mood all the time. We all have our ups and downs. Well, but how do we keep motivated? I'm gonna tell you a short story about myself. So it was for about 3 years ago, or even more. It can be even over 3 years. I remember I was miserable. I was thinking about I was thinking about what if I had never existed? I had never been born. Like, I was that miserable. And one day, my friend's cousin gave my cousin a book called The Secret to read. Like, I don't know. The book was lying there and it caught my attention. Like, I love secrets, I love supernatural stuff. So I was like, why not? When I'm depressed, I read a lot and I watch a lot. So I started reading the book. First, it didn't make any sense to me. Like, okay, that's just bullshit. It doesn't make sense. And then one person there, he caught my attention, Bob Proctor. I immediately started doing research. I started listening to the lectures. I don't know what he has exactly, but his voice soothes me, his lectures are motivating me, and back then I promised myself to listen to his meditation, which is available on YouTube. If you want, you can listen yourself every day. So my life started changing a lot. I started doing research about paradigms. I started doing research about his life, how he changed his life, and so on. Unfortunately, I just stopped following the things I learned. Like, at some point, I was extremely happy. I was extremely successful. I was using all the strategies I learned from him. But I forgot one thing. If you call upon negativity, it will eventually come to your life. Willingly or unwillingly. Let's say if you're happy and if you don't focus on your happiness, if you start thinking that, what if I will be sad again? Then you're basically calling sadness into your life. You're welcoming that sadness into your life. So unfortunately, I forgot that thing and I welcomed sadness into my life again. But one day, I don't know how, thanks to the universe, I remembered that, once upon a time I was happy. And I knew how I was happy. But I was basically following some exact things. So happiness is not actually that hard. Yes, sometimes we are miserable and we cannot escape from our misery. but 90% of times we are the reason why of that sadness. Anyway, when I ordered the book, The Art of Living, I was again desperate, like sleeping all day, arguing with everyone. I lost touch with all my friends. I'm even keeping in touch with one of my friends whose birthday was forgotten by me a while ago. Yes, so I am not the happiest person ever. I wasn't a moderately happy person, I even wasn't a moderately happy person. Then the book I ordered finally came. They delivered the book, and I didn't have a single motivation. I didn't have will to start reading the book. Suddenly, again, I had nothing to do and started reading that. And I remembered that, Bob was my main motivation. I remembered how those strategies helped me. So the rule is very simple. The rule is very basic. For the starters, just try to focus on positive. I know it's hard. It's extremely hard, but eventually you can actually shift your paradigms. You can change your character. For instance, every time you complain, put something aside, put a stone aside, or write down that. Or instead of that, let's say if we complain about and write it, we actually bring negativity. So let's write our gratitudes. Every day I was writing 10 things I was grateful for. Even if nothing happened that day, I was writing. I'm grateful for waking up healthy. Or I'm grateful for eating 3 times a day today. Being able to eat 3 times a day today. So, even small things do matter because not everyone in this life have those things. That's how you can change, let's say, your character. That's how you can shift your paradigms. Let's say the thing is not that if you believe that you can become rich or cannot become rich, it's all about emotions. Bob Proctor says that our lives are really controlled by emotions. Let's say emotions are the key factors. Emotions create our reality. It's hard to control our emotions, but not impossible. So in one of his lectures, or let's say conferences, Bob called a journalist and he told her that he could actually see through everyone because we are made of frequencies. We came from one thing: money, cars, houses. Every single person living in this earth comes from one spirit, comes from one frequency, comes from one energy. We are actually made of same things. If you look at your cells, you can see that we have some similarity with trees. We have some similarity with leaves. We are a whole. If you get these ideas, you can actually get somewhere. So let's say I do recommend why I started my first episode with Bob Proctor, because that person helped me to change my life. And I do believe that he will change my life. He has already changed millions of lives. And maybe if you don't know him, he can change your life. Most people know him from The Secret. But just try to research his life, try to see where he comes from. I don't want to spoil the books. I don't want to spoil anything for you. So let's say you can start from anywhere. You can start from anywhere, from his lectures, from his meditation. I didn't know him at all. I was just listening to his meditations. So that was how I, let's say, got familiar with his ideas. So guys, thanks for listening for the very first part of my podcast. And I do believe that you are going to listen to the second part of this. So this is 1A and 1B, but they are hopefully going to be, let's say, released on the same day. So thanks a lot for listening, and I hope that you all will be able to change your lives because it is in your own hands. You can actually do this. Have a nice day, have a nice life. Never focus on negativities because everything exists in this world is yours. We are made of the same things. We just have to catch the right frequency, and the rule for that is easy. If you want to listen to more of these kind of things, just stay tuned. If you like the monologue, then you can move to the dialogue. So this is the end of episode 1A. Okay, so today's guest is Huseyn, who is the owner of Akhundofflaw. And today we're going to talk about motivation in life and influencers. So let's get started. Before I want to greet Huseyn. Hello, Huseyn. How are you?
Hi, Fatima. I'm fine. What about you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining the very first episode of iDiscuss. So let's get started. First of all, can you tell me, please, do you think that motivation is important in life?
Yeah, motivation is always important to start doing new projects or making some life-changing decisions. Motivation is always important, and everyone must find its own way to get motivated.
Yes, indeed, I do agree, because without motivation, we wouldn't have any will to do anything. So I guess that motivation is the major factor. So actually there are many things that motivate us, but let's be honest, I think that money is the biggest factor. So would you agree? Like, do you think, I really believe that in today's society, in the 21st century, you can buy almost everything with money. And most people work because they want to earn money.
Uh, well, I would like to tell that, yeah, money is really good to start new job and start new projects. Yeah, money is
Exactly,
cool,
it's an
but
incentive.
it's just a tool. Motivation, must be, let's say, every, person must have his or her own motivation, but not every person can have money, so can afford to pay something on their projects, on their lives,
Yeah.
but they must have
Let's say
some
it's
motivation.
kind of a tool.
Yeah.
You say that. Yes, it's a tool, but mainly we have to focus on success. It's a really good point, because for most people, success is also defined by money. Do you define success by money? Let's say you have your own page and it's growing. Although it's a fresh page, like it's something, I would call it even a startup. So your startup, your project is growing every single day. Would you define your success with money, or would you define, like, how would you define your success?
Well, little amount of money is necessary to start new things. For example, if I or my family did not have the money to pay for internet connection, I would never be able to run that page. But that's all
Exactly.
I needed. So just a little amount of money to start it.
So yes, we would probably both agree that money isn't that significant, but you need money even to start your own business, or to continue to run your business, or even a project, a startup. It's a tool. Okay. Can you tell me, please, do you get your ideas yourself? For me, it's completely different. Like, I am most of the times miserable, and I need some motivation to all the time, let's say, keep me awake, because I myself am not able to motivate myself. Therefore, I most of the time try to read books or listen to lectures. Especially, I definitely say that Bob Proctor's lectures, they help me a lot. Especially, I remember the times when I was extremely miserable and I couldn't find any way out. So I was thinking about only negative things, like all came to my mind was negativity. Let's say I wasn't willing to do anything. It was all just, let's say, black hole. I was feeling myself as if I had been struggling in a black hole. So let's say some people can motivate themselves. However, the others, they need someone or they need
Yeah,
something to keep them
accurately.
motivated. What about you?
Well, I'm not into such kind of, let's say, lectures to get motivated. I get my own motivation from, let's say, the successes that I earned before, or just my aims, my targets. They are motivating me so far. But yeah, I have had some stress times as well. So I have watched some motivational videos and lectures as well.
So we're complete opposite in that case. Let's
Yeah.
say, to be honest, I am demotivated extremely easily. That's why I all the time have my book beside me, like anything. I am currently reading The Art of Living by Bob Proctor, and it really keeps me motivated. Otherwise, I wouldn't be recording this podcast right now. So, do you know anything about Bob Proctor? Like, do you know who the person is? Do you know about his lectures, books, or even about his life?
Well, I've searched about him before the podcast, so
Yeah.
I've read some of his ideas and some of his quotes, and yeah, he is really helping person if it's needed to get motivated.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you're quite new to him. He's someone quite new to you, right?
yeah.
But what about, let's say, his mindset? Let's say, even doing a little bit of research before this podcast, like, how do you feel about this person? How do you feel about this person generally? Like, do you think that he can be someone who can motivate others? Is he
Well,
convincing enough?
yes, he looks really convincing. He is, let's say, when I looked Wikipedia, I just saw some pictures of him, and also I saw some quotes of him. Yeah, he can be trusted. Like, he is, let's say,
Yes.
type. He is looking, is really trustable. Let's say.
Trustworthy, exactly.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell one fact about him. Actually, in his early 20s, he was an ordinary person, like an ordinary fireman. He was satisfied with his job, and he never thought about earning more money or changing his life. And one day, a person who was close to him, let's say I don't know if we can call him a friend of his, but someone who was called Ray, he came to him and asked, like, what do you want from life? Actually, in my opinion, we all have to ask this question, like, what do we really want? And he was like, actually, he was happy. He had a very respectable occupation. Most people respected his family, although his family, wasn't rich. Let's say he still has, if I'm not mistaken, he still has 2 siblings, and he was quite satisfied as everyone, as we are. Like, he had an ordinary life many years ago. And Ray told that, come on, tell me what you want. And he told him that it wouldn't have hurt him if he had more money. And then he took out some money out of his pocket and told him that, this stuff can't talk, but this stuff can hear perfectly. If you call them, they can come. And now tell me how much you want. At that moment, Proctor told Ray that he really, actually, not really, I'm exaggerating a bit, but he just threw out a number, 25,000. And after that, he recommended him, like, to make a long story short, he recommended him to read Think and Grow Rich every day. You probably know this book, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I know this
If
book.
I remember,
Yeah.
if I remember
Napoleon
correctly,
Hill.
Napoleon Hill's
Yeah.
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Actually, do you believe that? Do you believe that someone can change his life by reading a book, but every single day? Imagine that Bob is over 80 years old. Like, I'm not sure about that fact, but he's over 70 or 80 years old right now. And he still reads that book. He's still reading that book. It's his habit. It's habit of his. He reads the same book, the exact same book every single day. Do you think that does it make sense? Does it make any sense? Like, you can read a book every day and become rich.
Well, that's quite normal thing to have some really favorite book and it guides your life. I have just, let's say, similar book in my life and I'm still reading it for,
Okay,
let's say,
which one?
3 or 4 years. It's a
You've
complex
been reading
of,
it for 3 years. You've been reading
yeah,
the same book.
it's,
Oh my god. Uh-huh.
yes. It's the book of Dale Carnegie. It's actually a complex of 3 of his books. And also in this book, Dale Carnegie mentions some quotes and some quotations from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. It's really helping
Oh
me
my god,
about,
so
let's say,
these two people, I'm sorry for interrupting, but
uh,
this means that these two people actually became successful thanks to Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. So the thing is, Ray recommended that, but Bob at the time, he couldn't understand why. He just followed. He had nothing to lose at the time. So, he explained later that when you start repeating something, actually everything in life is made of frequencies as well as money. So we're made of frequencies, money is made of frequencies, and so on. But the thing is, if we can shift our paradigms, so I don't know if you have any information about paradigms, but if you can shift your paradigms, you actually get the right frequency. Imagine it as radio, right? Let's say if we want to listen to radio number 1, we have to shift the frequency, right? We can't listen the radio one at whatever frequency we want. We have to shift the exact frequency we need. So, when you start reading the book every single day, you actually change your mindset, willingly or unwillingly. And when you do something unwillingly, you actually call that. Let's say, have you ever watched the movie The Secret? Have you ever watched The Secret, or have you ever read that book?
No, to be honest, I haven't watched it.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you something. In that book, it said that when you think about making, like, if you think about something like that, imagine that you're wearing a white suit, and you don't want it to get dirty, right? You all the time think about it getting dirty. You eventually get it dirty because the image in your mind is your suit becoming dirty. Actually, when you try to avoid that, you call it to yourself. It is the same. When we think about becoming rich, actually the feelings of ours are mainly the fear of becoming poor. So we are focusing on the wrong frequencies. We are focusing on the wrong images. That's why, unwillingly, we are calling the things we don't want to have in our lives. Do you agree? Like, have you ever experienced something like that? You actually didn't want it to happen. All your focus was on that negative thing not to happen, but you somehow brought it to your life.
Well, it's...
Can you recall such kind of thing? Can you recall such kind of memory?
Yeah, it's completely true, actually. Like, I know when I do some, let's say, work unwillingly, just to, okay, I will complete it. I have started, but I won't do it again. So when you're doing something with that attitude, you cannot achieve success.
Yes.
And this work will probably never be completed. You have to be focused on your aim, on what you are going to
Oops, I'm sorry. Something happened. Okay.
That's okay. You have to you have to target on your aim. So that's how you must do your works. Must reach your goals.
Yes, exactly. So instead of focusing on not being able to complete, you have to imagine that you have already completed. The secret was also all about that. Like, the mindset of those people are something like nothing in this world existed or will exist. We all have now. So it's a complicated mindset. It is hard to understand, but once you understand, it actually makes sense. Let's say, according to Bob Proctor, the first person who invented, let's say, touch screen phones, who was Steve Jobs.
Yes.
He actually hadn't invented anything. He activated the frequencies. He actually recalled what was already known to the universe. So everything in the universe exists. There is no future, there is no past. There is even a theory. Let's say if you place a mirror somewhere in the cosmos, at the right angle, you can actually see the past or future. So,
yeah.
I'm not a physics specialist, but let's say the science also kind of proves that. Do you think that I do believe that our mindsets are important because, let's say, after getting motivated by Bob Proctor, I had really amazing time. I was extremely happy. And suddenly I started thinking about, what if I'd be sad again? And then I brought that sadness to my life. I knew the secret, I knew the rules, but I spoiled it for myself. So, for that, you need discipline, I guess. Like reading exact same book or repeating. Do you sometimes meditate? Like, do you try to stick on some exact ideas and follow them, or do you live spontaneously?
Oh, well, I live spontaneously, to be honest. Yeah, I'm a very changeable person, to be honest.
Yes.
I'm doing various things at the same time, and from time to time, I'm starting some new things and completing others. So I'm not like planning them in advance and, let's say, just concentrating on one thing.
You're trying to live life to the fullest.
Yeah.
Live in the moment. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are your actions predictable or unpredictable? Like, do you think that you're a predictable kind of person?
I'm trying to be unpredictable, to be honest.
Why?
It's better.
It is better.
It's better and safer, I think.
In terms of safety, yes, I do agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's come to the question. I recently posted something about Bob Proctor. Most people think that it's ridiculous. Just reading a book, shifting your paradigm, and changing your mindset. Boom! You can earn whatever you want. You can earn how much you want. Do you think that it's ridiculous, or do you think that it actually makes some sense?
Well,
if you think deeply.
I don't know why, but there is a negative look upon personal improvement books and, let's say, motivation books and such kind of stuff. I don't know, lectures and events about them. I don't know why it's like that, but there is. But I think both of them are really needful.
Yes. We have to keep the balance. In my opinion, if you ask me, we cannot follow someone's footsteps. We can't be in someone else's shoes. But we can actually get inspired from those people. Inspiration, for me, inspiration is the key, not copying. Let's say, yes, the motivators, influencers, life coaches, they do have something, but they are not meant to copy. They are there to give you some inspiration, as I think, or as I believe at least. So,
it's important not to stick on just books and just reading books. It's better way to read books, but don't forget to practice it. Don't forget to practice. Yeah.
Put into practice. Exactly.
Yeah.
We forget. Most people think that if they all read The Secret, actually it's mentioned in the book that I'm currently reading. Bob says that everyone reads like almost hundreds of people right now are reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, but only a few of them, let's say 5, 6 of them, can actually put it into practice. The thing is not to read. Everyone owns a cleaning business, but only Bob's business is prominent. Only Bob's business was prominent because of the right strategies. I do agree. So, I guess that's all for our discussion, because if we keep discussing it, it will just go for hours and hours. It was good to have a discussion with you. Thanks for your ideas, and thanks for another book, which was also, based on, which was also written by the inspiration of Napoleon Hill's book. It is also based on something, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Thank you for inviting me for that podcast. It was nice to spend time with you discussing. Yeah.
It is the very first episode, so I'm trying to have not famous people, because I know that if I had invited famous people, they wouldn't have probably accepted. So,
okay, so
your page is...
I was the only chance. I got it.
You are the only chance I have. But your page also, let's say it has 600 followers, by the way. I congratulate you. I hope that it will be 600k soon, or maybe 600 million. I would be glad if you promote the podcast.
I will.
Don't forget mentioning that I was the only choice. No, okay. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You were one of the best people to discuss about motivation and those kind of factors. Thanks for having this first podcast for me. Sorry guys if we are a little bit amateurs, because it's the very first episode. We were just trying to have fun. But I also hope that people who are going to listen will take something. I really hope that someone is going to listen. So thanks a lot. This is the second part of episode 1. Let's say it's the episode 1B. It was a surprise for you all. So, this podcast has the first part, which is 1A. If you haven't listened, yet, you can go and listen. And first part, I'm basically talking about motivation and Bob Proctor generally, and then we have a discussion. Thanks for joining, and I really hope that you're gonna promote. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. You want to say anything, something?
No, just stay in life. Take your own motivation. Goodbye. That's all.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.